Ah, the wonderful sounds of winter music. Northern Hemisphere winter music. It's probably summer somewhere.
Oh, it's freaking snowing here. Don't
It's no.
even.
Oh, there you go. Well,
Oh,
hey,
no.
the Spincast Cycling Show. Welcome once again. Brian Callison, Lisa Vries, Casey Shum. Not on a boat. Brian White. Trying to get in. Maybe he's trying to get a lifeboat. Not visible. Unknown user. I just saw that pop up on my screen. Quick poll. I know that I'm not throwing this. Should I update my computer right now? Because it says update right
that'd be
now.
A fantastic idea.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. All right.
Actually, like literally 4 minutes ago, I was crawling around under my desk because all four of my monitors went black, and I'm like, "What in the freak happened?" And I like killed my power supply, booted my PC back up, and everything opened back up to where it was. Like even Farming Sim was running in the background, and it's still going. I've never seen something like that happen.
I have an unhealthy obsession with updating the moment.
Oh yeah, I'm with you.
I feel your pain.
I love the firmware
If I had
update.
an update notification,
I'd
I'd be like, oh man, I want to press that.
I think I'd go to update system or update firmware on like any device that I have. I'm like, oh, I need to update this. Speaking of an old device, here you go. Here's one that's old. This is an Edge 1000. That probably needs a firmware update. We're going into some national championship discussion. We were talking about this right before we came on. We're trying to save the good stuff because, you know, everyone's first opinion is always good, and then we regret what we say, especially reckless speculation. But the announcement that Canadian Nationals is going to be held on Zwift, it will be at the end of February, correct?
Yes, apparently it was supposed to be the beginning of February, but it sounds like it's moved, which more time the better. So
we'll get into this. Maybe just put out some topics or points that we want to talk about. One is like the platform. Two is cost in this sort of world, and then all the hoops and stuff that people have to jump through or we don't want to jump through. So let's get into like obviously the platform. Why Zwift? They moved away from Zwift, and I said this off the air, but I'll say it again. I think they moved away from Josh. Is Josh not doing it? Is Josh not with Cycling Canada anymore?
Josh
Friend of the
is
show,
with Cycling Canada, but I think
he's new role.
Given the reins to indoor esports to a new person.
Okay. So I think that's the reason. That's my reckless speculation, is they are more fond of Zwift or more comfortable with Zwift, because previously it was my whoosh last year, right?
Yeah, I think it's just not maybe more fond, but I think the general population, most people ride on Zwift, and if you ask where they want to race in Zwift. But
regardless if they know racing in Zwift is good or bad.
Yes, and that's I think the problem is we all know that Zwift has some cons to performance
they have some
verification.
Challenges.
Yeah, there's some challenges with Zwift. And so I think people don't really care though about those challenges. They just know that they pay for a Zwift subscription, and they would rather not pay for a subscription elsewhere, which why my whoosh was okay, because it was free. No one had to pay. It was like, it's on my whoosh, and everyone should have been happy about that. But I think the majority of people want it.
But people will
Zwift.
pay for comfort. People upgrade airplane tickets. I'm tall. So sometimes I pay like, you know, $15, $20 or $100, whatever it is, to get a little bit of extra leg room. People will pay more to be on the platform that they are comfortable with instead of doing a free thing, right? But my question about sort of like the convenience of it is it brand now where we are in this e-sport? Not elite racing, verified racing, all this other thing, but just the sport itself. Is brand now getting people more engaged, and the social of it is that Zwift is more social, so that everything will trickle down, right? Like social and then trickle down to elite racing and verified stuff, right?
I think that's just the main argument, is that really it has the most people. So the idea would be the platform with the most people is going to get the most participants for, say, a national race, which honestly is kind of true, because in 2024, when they had the national championships on Zwift, it was a high point for participation. I think there was 18 people in my age category, where the year before there was like 11. So,
Okay.
but I mean, I don't think on Zwift we're going to get 60 people in a category. That's not going to
Okay,
happen.
let's say that. Let the hypothetical here. If it's super hard to do the hoops on Zwift, but super easy to do it on like Bike Terra, do you think the numbers would be greater on Bike Terra because the hoops would be less?
Actually, in Canada, I don't think the participation on apps really actually matters, because there's the limiting factor, which is cost for a membership to actually race.
Right. Which is the next point.
100%. In my personal opinion, that's 100% the problem in Canada.
The biggest hoop is the price, is the cost.
A Cycling BC, the province that I'm in, British Columbia, the governing body of provincial cycling in BC is Cycling BC. A UCI race license is $196.
Canadian.
So you need that to race nationals. Most people that I know indoor ride don't ride outside where you need to have a license to participate in other events. Fondos, you don't need a license. Gravel fondos, road fondos, a lot of other race series, you don't need a license.
But those aren't sanctioned by the.
They're not, yeah. So sanctioned rides, you don't need a license. So really, the only sanctioned ride a lot of people that I know are doing is nationals. Are you going to spend that kind of money to race one indoor ride in your garage? Like, it's tough. I'm sure if they made it $20, they'd probably get way more people. So yes, moving to Zwift is a great idea in terms of Zwift has the most popular. But the thing is, those people still need to have licenses.
And they need to have a subscription.
And a subscription.
Yeah.
Or do they? You can be the free. You could save your stuff for the free. Oh, you can.
I don't think you can get by with that. I know somebody who just tried to join a race last week and they couldn't move out of the starting pin because they're on a free account. They're either locking the events or you're stopped in events as soon as you hit the limit. But I'm speculating here, but I would assume, and recklessly speculating, that last year they probably got a lot of kickback because a lot of the riders are familiar with Zwift, and I feel like it's human nature, right? That if I don't want to spend the money and I'm looking for an excuse, you can use something like last year. A lot of people used my whoosh as the excuse to not spend the money. So I think Cycling Canada heard that and moved it to Zwift, but I'm not sure they're actually going to get more people because now they're going to find another reason to not spend the money, right? Like Lee's saying, I think the real barrier is the money, but a lot of people used my whoosh as an excuse last year. Like this was a bad decision, so I'm not going to pay the money. And now you're on Zwift. So
when it was free on my whoosh, the excuse was the hoops. Yeah. People had and the hoops were somewhat difficult for someone who doesn't stream because you had to film yourself doing a PPT, you had to do the weigh-in video, but there's still going to be hoops on Zwift. Like there has to be. Like there's no way they're just going to open up the race on a national level.
Okay.
Or maybe
let me ask you this: would it be better if they're disclosing how much or your funds are going into furthering this sport, not funding some other project within Cycling Canada or whatever other governing body? It is, we're putting this in to fund better tools to verify people, to get people more engaged, to have, like a youth thing. I think that's my question is, would it be better? And then my answer is, I think it would be better if they were disclosing like how we're taking this sort of big chunk out of people's budget to do racing for online only stuff, even though you can use it for everything else. But is it not growing the sport? Yeah. Oh, hey, Mr. No Camera has joined us.
I was curious if I was here. Hey guys.
Yeah, you are here. Are you on a boat?
I am not on a boat, unfortunately.
Okay.
You hear him? I don't hear him.
I hear him in my ears. I don't know if the crowd hears him, but Brian White has joined us. Okay. That's my question. Go, Casey. We'll figure out Brian in the background.
What I was wondering about the jumping through hoops was, now that you say that, is everything on my whoosh was like pre-verification in order to join. And I'm thinking if we're going to Zwift, this is speculation again, but we're going to Zwift right now. The elite form on Zwift is the newly launched Elite Out Esports, right? If we're looking at the prestige race that's this week, shameless plug, I think I'm going to join it. You have to register to race, but you don't have to pre-verify to race. There are requirements, but I'm wondering in this case, right? You can get a lot more people that, like Lee and I, like you, Brian, we have the tools to meet the requirements to race. If we register, sign up, and join the race, we know what's expected of us when we race, and really the hardest part is the weigh-in video. And we only have to jump through the verification hoops if they call us after the race and say something didn't line up, right? Or something looks out of the ordinary, or you won, or you podiumed and they're wanting to verify, right? So the average Joe who's going to finish 10th, it doesn't have to go through this hour-long procedure just to get approved to race, right?
Right.
They only get called. Now, you run that risk on the other side of it, which we had in the past, was the top 3 people are absolute garbage. But if you're at least, they're putting some filter on entry, I assume, right? I'm not going to be able to go click on the Cycling Canada National Championships and sign. Like, it's going to be a hidden event, so you at least have to pre-register and like sign a waiver, right?
Locked. Like, it'll still be smart trainers only and that kind of stuff. But you make a good point,
yeah.
because really, does it matter whoever comes 18th if they did a PPT? See, my Whoosh's standard was you had to do the PPT, but you're totally true. Open it up, and anyone who comes in the top 10 is going to get verified.
Argument for and against with this. One is, this goes back to the don't drop cycling. What's that guy's name? I can't remember his name.
Cycling.
Don't get drop cycling. We did the thing. Brian and I did the thing with him, and I broke away with a guy who was not on Zwift Power, but he helped me draft up the thing, and then I broke away and then won, or whatever I did, right? And so this person was not officially in the race, or in the results, excuse me, and did affect the race.
Well, that's the other argument.
That's the counter argument of like, hey, we're going to have everyone in, and then we're going to post verify, right?
Because
and it's like, it kind of ruins the experience for people that are sort of wanting to have the non-rec league. They want to have some certification, where it's a sort of like not super strict, but kind of like you got to sign the waiver to, the waiver to release yourself from like whatever, I'm kind of real, because it's a live thing that's happening. If it was more innovative in a way that it could immediately spot people that are not properly doing what they're doing, but you can't do that without people having data. Like, if you don't have data sets on people, you can't do that, or have changed their data set and started fresh. That's where it's kind of like, I get that the honor system works, but then there's going to be a point where it's going to come to a head, right?
Yeah, I'm going through the registration now for Prestige to figure out like what exactly do you have to provide in order to register? Because like if people at least have to provide like trainer serial numbers or something like that, like you can't stop somebody from just going in there and fictitiously putting junk in there, but you're also going to stop the average Joe from going in and plugging in a trainer and a model that he doesn't have, right? Like, keeping honest people honest, basically. Yeah. If you can't get an entry link until you filled out the paperwork to at least say, yes, I'm on this kind of trainer kind of thing, right? Somebody could always try to fudge it and lie and do all that, but I think that prevents a large majority of that interference that we used to face.
Can it pull your trainer data? Can't the games pull your trainer data?
Well, the games could. Zwift doesn't. I mean, the Zwift pulls some of it and it captures it, but you're not going to be able to. You're going to provide somebody a link into the race before you're ever able to authenticate their trainer for a barrier to entry, right? Zwift doesn't have built into the game to say if you're not on model 1, 2, 3, or 4, you can't enter.
I think we're trying. I'm still in the fantasy land that sort of like platform X. Platform X can do the things we want it to do to make the entry level easier for people so they can get in and enjoy this sport. What Zwift can do is not able to do that. So we're trying to. I think a lot of the trade wind, is it trade wind? No, it's not trade wind. What is it? Lead out. Sorry, I don't know why trade wind. That's an old isn't that like an old pinball company? Trade wind, Trade West. Oh, trade whatever. Bucky O'Hare, right? Retro games. Moving on. We're trying to solve problems, solve issues with platforms Zwift, right? Or platform MyWhoosh or platform Biketerra, right? So we're trying to create our the promoters or whoever are like, hey, this is how the software works. If we had Project X doing the things we want, it would be like, hey, show up, sign up for your race, do your race. We're going to pull your data. You got to do something. You got to spin for 10 seconds or do like a spin down. Then you can, it's like, I would think it would be like, you have to be this tall to get on this ride. Like you have to do this much to get into this race. And then if you go way crazy, we're going to then filter you out. That's like the hypothetical project.
I think that was the reason
right?
why when Nationals was on MyWhoosh, you had to do at least one echelon race prior
because they
to
need
Nationals.
to gather data, right?
Yeah.
They need to do that with Training Peaks, right? We had to do that. I don't think when we had, all right, here we are, 17 minutes in, the RGT Echelon Racing League, right? It was just, because Nationals for Echelon did the Nationals on RGT in 2022.
Yeah,
and 23.
I actually did.
We did the verification for them.
You actually had to do a verification video.
Yeah, we had to do a video.
And I did the video on Zwift for the Nationals.
Yeah, and they were. That's the thing is their hoops were very.
Because it was the eBio Passport.
It was eBio Passport, and that
so
was
you had to
that's
submit
sort of
your
the
verification video to eBio Passport, and they didn't care what platform you did it on, as long as you did it and had the graph and you could. Because
there was one portal where they, as the promoter, could go in on the back end and see all your data, and if they asked for more data, they would grab more data. That's where, like, I think I don't know if it was on the show last week or if we were talking about it on the Discord, is that. Oh, I think it was you and Lee. Casey and Lee were talking about how much you guys liked the racing app. Is it Zwift Racing app or whatever it is?
Oh, the Zwift Racing app for the
it's
scores.
Very clean. It's like very clean with its data. It's like, here's who it's like a better Zwift power, right? If we could have a better verification portal, which was the eBio Passport, there might be some out there we just don't know. That's where it's kind of like, hey, if you have this going, get this thing up to spec, and you're good to go. Come and race. And Casey's point is, you can sign up and do all that, and then we'll do it afterwards, right? Isn't that what's kind of going on right now?
Well, I think the way in it so far it's worked for Prestige. I mean, it's been 1 week. It was Lead Out Esports, right? And I don't have my wallet with me to actually do the payment to see what's next, but you're basically signing on to the terms and conditions that is saying I have one of these trainers, and you're jumping through those hoops ahead of time, but you're not actually like submitting testing ahead of time, but you're agreeing to do a weigh-in video. You're agreeing to do a recording ahead of time.
At a later date?
Well, before you get a link to the event,
okay.
You're agreeing to do those things. And if you read the terms and conditions, you must submit a weigh-in video within 12 hours of the start of the race. And you must submit your dual recording within 60 minutes of the race completing. And there's a list of approved trainers, right? That's all in the terms and conditions. I don't think there's any physical things stopping you from racing. If I sign up for Prestige and I don't submit my weigh-in video, I don't think I get booted, right? But they'll disqualify me after the fact. But you're agreeing to those terms. So I'm assuming people, this is speculation for sure, is something like that's going to happen with Cycling Canada if they're going down this road into Zwift. I'm assuming they're not just going to open the floodgates like they did last time and then DQ people later. I assume there's going to be some expectations set ahead of time, but not quite the MyWhoosh Power Passport all blessing before you get to start.
Yeah, this goes to the, it's better to, now that we have multiple platforms, this is where we are in this junction of the which route do you choose? The choose your own adventure. And you can go choose your own adventure on any platform. But the verification, which is what I think I was bringing up last year, or I don't know when it was, that we have to go do a verification on each platform, which is a difficult thing to do and a difficult ask. Is like, hey, I want to do nationals, but I don't care about racing on my whoosh all the time. I have to do a power passport test to race nationals. And we're like, well, that's the thing you have to do nationals. But it'd be great for somebody who doesn't like doing the test. I just don't like doing testing. I'd rather just race, right? Having to do it for multiple platforms was mind numbing, right? And so that's where having this sort of like thing that travels around with you is tougher because we're all remote and our trainers are different. That's where it's like, hey, you have to be on the up and up with your own passport. Like I have a new trainer because I had a warranty, and so I don't have my trainer is not certified with my whoosh, even though they have the data of me physically. I got to do one for my trainer.
Right. So, I guess throw this out there for Lee. We're talking about this prestige. Would you even talk about paying the money and joining a prestige race if you had to do a pre-power passport type test to do it?
If I had to do, I totally would. I mean, I did it last year for Echelon, and I want to see nationals continue and grow. And so there's other platforms I would like to see it on. I really thought they were going to pick TPV, but I mean, I'm willing to do anything that they're asking of me.
I'm not saying for nationals. I'm saying Thursday.
Yeah,
just Thursday. Just Thursday.
You want to do a power passport?
Would you jump through all those hoops to do prestige?
If I was going to race the entire series?
No, it just race the regular. You're going to show up once.
We talked about paying our $12.
You're showing up to Rec League. You're showing up to Rec League Thursday. Yeah,
that's my answer is no. I'm not going to do all that.
No.
So I think prestige might have the right balance right now to say, like, for us, I have all the mechanisms to do it, and the only burden on me is doing the weigh-in video, right? And submit the dual recording. Those are simple things, right? I'm willing to do that, but I'm not going to do an hour-long test just to join and support the racing, right? That's too much to ask. So I think maybe they got the right balance. We'll see how it goes. I
think they got the right balance. They have the right balance with the limitations of the platform they're on.
Yes. We
want Project X to help us not have to do this all the time. So
well, like I say, there's every time we have this discussion, there's more of a case for using a third party like eBio Passport, and that's not stuck to any one platform.
Then there's the thing. It's like I don't because we didn't know Bjorn before, and we didn't know the Training Peaks George before Indy Velo showed up, right? But like I didn't know who was verifying my stuff on eBio Passport. I was just putting my data up there, and the promoters were saying, like, if we have any questions, we'll go to that, and if we have any more questions, we'll come to you. And it was like they verified me based on that, and it was like that's kind of a better, in my opinion, that's a better solution, but that's kind of hoops for people to jump through that they don't want to do. But like having this digital, like, I like filling out my information so I can get through like security in the airport faster, right? Like I'm okay with that. There's other people that don't want to do that. I get that. What we have now is kind of a happy medium. I'm with Casey on this, where it's like, hey, we're going to you can pay the money. Now, the thing is, if you get booted, do you get your money back? Or they're like, no, this is part of the, I think you forfeit your money if you don't do your weigh-in video, and you pay, and it's on you to do what you need to do to race.
I feel that people who are willing to even pay the money to be in a race are especially an indoor race, are probably going to be a bit more legit. I just remember when Zwift used to have the unofficial nationals, like before the national bodies joined in. And, and like they got hundreds of people to go into Canadian nationals. I think it was 2019. But I mean, like half the people were on like speed sensors and cadence sensors and like, wheel on trainers like that were not smart trainers. And it was just like a gong show for sort of a legitimate effort and competition.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's like going to a show and not buying the merchandise from the artist. You're buying the bootleg in the parking lot.
I think,
Yeah.
So what it comes down to, what I get the vibe from this and in the comments in chat too, is most of us don't have a concern with this because we all have the data history, the race history to support the actions that we're going to do in this race. So the few hoops we have to jump through, we have all the supporting data, right? Just look at my race history. Just look at my dual recordings on Swift Power. Just, we've been consistent, right? We all have been consistent over time and have that data. What this little bit of barrier to entry does is it forces the people that are not in a derogatory way, but it just unintelligent, that the people that are ignorant to this racing world are forced to look at the rules and acknowledge, oh, I don't have the right trainer. Oh, I have to do the video. Like it forces them.
No, it forces them, but
rather
it's
than
like,
just click join event,
yeah,
Canadian
it's like,
National
look,
Champions.
you show up,
right?
you show up to the field, and you're like, hey, can I jump in and play soccer with you guys? And they're like, yeah, sure. Play soccer and go on your merry way. Hey, team with jerseys and refs and goals and lines, and there's everything, like it's official. Hey, can I jump in and put? No, because you're not signed up and you don't know what's going on. We don't know what age you are, all that stuff. So that's kind of like this, the pickup game stuff, which is all the events that exist in the world that don't have these hoops to jump through. That's where you kind of separate, where there's people like, look, I like pickup games. I don't want to be locked into a team. Then there's people like, I like being on a team. I like having refs. I don't like people like slide tackling into my legs, breaking my legs, even though people do that still. This is kind of where we are. The problem is that is a in-person thing, and you don't know who's who in their garage, house, room, whatever, because their trainer is not really their feet and their legs, and they're not, somebody comes out and just smokes everybody and they take off their makeup and it's Ronaldo. That's kind of not happening at the rec league, where we have that in this world. How do we help solve this problem? And I think this is sort of a happy medium right now. Okay, I'll take that as an agreement. Yeah.
I think
silence is golden, right? Yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, where I'm at now is I'm as we're talking through this and I'm sitting here thinking about the things that have come up recently. I see a lot of different things coming. Are we starting to hurt ourselves because we're getting oversaturated with some of this stuff too? We got Prestige coming in on Thursdays. We've got the typical WTRL, team time trials, Zwift Racing League. We've got SRC. My Whoosh is doing a Tuesday, less serious league, right? They're doing a Tuesday league, open to time zones that work a little bit better for North America. I haven't seen, I assume there's no money involved. I haven't looked to see if it's power passport test required, but it's categorized racing. I think it's a competitor to ZRL a little bit that My Whoosh is starting to do on Tuesday. So are we going to start spreading out the people where we're gonna struggle with that? Or are we going to start to see some trends here to be like, yeah, My Whoosh is going to be a ghost town when they don't have thousands of dollars on the line because they don't like the platform? Or are a bunch of people going to be showing up to learn My Whoosh on Tuesdays to be more effective on Sundays to make the money? I don't know, but there's a lot of things coming. I jumped into a big German league race on Wednesday at lunchtime. Biggest race I've been in like 5 years. 170 starters in the B category.
Wow.
Like just my category. And I was like, this is fantastic. Like this is old school racing to me. So that was the race.
I'm for diluting things down, because this is my take. The competition sort of drives innovation, in my opinion. And I don't think Zwift is sort of innovating in a way that like, hey, we're innovating because we're innovating. They're now having to consider other options. I think Ruvia is pushing them, even though they probably might not say that, but I think Ruvia is pushing them because they do have numbers. They're very vocal in how many subscribers they have and what they do, and they're very like their community manager. They're like, hey, we're doing this, and they're advertising on cycling news just like Zwift is advertising on cycling news, and so it's like, hey, I'm happy for this because
I don't want to admit it, but I was playing a stupid pay-to-win game on my phone, and you had to watch an ad, and there was a Ruby ad.
Yeah,
on some random pay-to-win crap phone game.
I'm getting Ruby on YouTube all the time. So so I'm in the marketing world. They're paying for marketing on the open auction marketing space, where these websites go out there and like whoever's willing to pay the most for people who fit this criteria at this time slot gets that ad. And that's a split-second decision, right? Like it's like a clearinghouse thing. They're paying to be in that. That's a big marketing move.
Yeah. So that good topic, good thing to talk about. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to throw this out there because I think I was going to talk about this last time. New users to this world, right? Or somebody that is coming from a different world. Did I talk about my uncle last week? We didn't talk about. We did?
Yeah, you said you set him up on
I don't
Zwift.
recall it, but I wasn't here.
Okay.
I did listen though.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was thinking about what do we do for like somebody that's new. Brian said he did hear me say that, Casey. I don't know if you're in hearing Brian, if he's not on the thing,
It might have been before or after the show.
Might have been before or after, whatever. But we'll just get into it. We'll get into it again. Now, I was looking at the simplicity of the Kicker Core 2 and the Zwift bike, right? That's like really easy for him to just like, look, put it on here. He's not going to ride outside. He's like 80, I think he's 82 years old. But he's still active. He goes to the gym and he's like, I just want to do this through the winter. And maybe I was talking about this on the air or off the air. It doesn't matter. But he doesn't want to do. I showed him Zwift. I showed him Ruby, and I was kind of talking about other stuff. But like, he was more interested in the real life video of Ruby, not so much the avatars or anything like that. He's like, oh, the scenery looks better than the virtual world. So like the social, he's not going to do social stuff, and he's not going to do sort of racing. He might get into racing. I don't think he will, but it's that sort of like the visual solo rider, like the Lee Zavries special where he would throw on the jams. Yeah, it's the Lee Zavries like 6-hour fun time. But I wish Zwift now. Does Zwift Ride, does that work across other platforms yet? Are they still working on that? Whatever. But like, I would be willing to recommend.
So the Zwift Ride,
in
Ruby, Casey's got then it's kind of stopped. People are having issues.
Casey looks disgruntled for the audio only audience.
So there is some issue, even though Ruby hacked it.
Yeah.
There was something going on that's caused people to have issues, and sometimes it doesn't work, but I think Casey's got a way that he's basically made it work every time, because Zwift holds on to the sensor and will not let go.
So if you're not a Zwift person, it would work.
Yeah, sorry. I'm not having issues with the Click V2.
Oh, Click, okay.
Now, I don't know about the Ride, but basically the rumor is, and Ruby's even saying this now, I even got an email from Ruby that said this, was basically Zwift is intentionally coding things in there that's making it more difficult, basically.
Okay.
And Ruby kind of threw him under the bus and basically said Zwift isn't playing ball, so we can't promise, and that's why we opened up the keyboard shifting. I'm not having issues, but basically Zwift is intentionally making their software be grabby. So if you don't intentionally open Zwift and say, ignore my clicks, the clicks are like committed. It's like they're Bluetooth locked to Zwift until you go into Zwift and force them unlocked.
Do you have a Zwift Ride or no?
I don't have a Ride. No.
You don't have a Ride. Okay, because that's the question. Is my uncle during the pandemic, I was like, hey, because I was way Zwift. I was like, hey, we'll ride together, blah blah blah. During the pandemic, he bought like a Diamondback that connected to nothing. He bought like a Diamondback. They had like an exercise bike. I don't know if Casey probably knows this. He knows like every single thing, or Bjorn, friend of the show, Bjorn probably knows. Oh yeah, Diamondback had like their own thing. It was like their trainer, CompuTrainer, and it didn't do anything except that. And he sold that, like Facebook Marketplace got rid of it. Now he's like, hey, I want to do stuff. I would like to know if he could, if I'm like, hey, you can have this thing that would work in Zwift. It's the Zwift ecosystem, but it has the ability to go into because I have the family plan with Ruby. I would throw him on the family plan.
So Ruby they opened up shifting ability with non-Zwift controllers. So
Okay.
you're still writing a core, right? So he
Yeah, because it would be one cog. Right. It's essentially a cog
Yeah.
2 or whatever, the core 2,
So
but only the single.
I know the
Yeah, that's the main thing is
Yeah.
I don't want him to be like, I can't shift. You know, it's like
So he could use the keyboard to shift, or if they completely broke the ride from compatibility, if Swift completely
do the
locked
click.
that down, you could still do, well, the original click you can't get, which
Right.
kind of stinks. But you could do keyboard, or you could do like USB controllers. Like you can buy a 2-button USB controller and just Velcro it on your handlebars and do something like that. But
he's pretty tech savvy, but I don't want to. I just want. It's just an exercise bike. Like I just want
that's
him to
where
get on
Zwift has the, like right now.
Yeah. I gotcha.
I hate that Zwift is doing it, but on the other side of it, like I can't blame Zwift, right? Because they have that magic all-in-one,
That's good.
virtual
No, it's good for
gearing,
them.
right?
I'm good for them. Yeah.
I don't like the way they're playing that game. I wish somebody else, but then that's probably going to be a patent battle, right? I wish somebody else would come out with the click, right? Just the simple click that's a Bluetooth
Or their own click. I mean, like
and just
nobody really came out with hardware except for that had
the whole click
electronics
situation.
in it.
This is sort of I mean, as Ruvi as a company, you can tell they're looking out for people. So Ruvi hacks the Zwift clicks. They announce to the world, hey, everybody, you can use your Zwift clicks in Ruvi. We have virtual shifting.
Yeah.
So then the virtual shifting kind of breaks. No fault of Ruvi's. Ruvi sends out an email saying, we're sorry that everyone is having issues with our hacked system. Everyone gets a free month added to their subscription.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that.
Like how many times does Zwift put in a feature that broke and then said,
how many bounty payments did they do for all their bugs, for all bug finding?
So this is the big push for, and I think this is why you see that cost gap too. It's like, does the Zwift Ride Core for right now on sale Black Friday for $1,000, right? Does that kill the smart bike? Well, here's where the smart bike wins. The smart bike is shifting in its own firmware, in its own device. A smart bike that's FEC compatible with the Bluetooth standards works on any one of these apps, and there's no, is my virtual shifting going to work or is it not, right? And that's,
so yeah, we were looking at that.
You got to
we
pay
were
to
looking
play
at
that
too. Like his budget is not like he doesn't want to drop $2,000 or $4,000 or whatever it is for $2,000. Even the shift is on Black Friday or Cyber Monday now, whatever it is. But that's the reason why I was like, hey, I'm putting together 3 options. Like go buy a Kicker Core 2. It's Kicker Core 2 now, right? That's the regular one, not the one that comes with the cog. So you can put a cog on it, and then go buy like a beater off of like the Facebook Marketplace so you can shift, right? And then we get the Zwift clicks, and then he has that. And then there's like the Zwift Ride, which is like the whole deal that works with that. It potentially could work with the Ruvi as well, but it could do bike. Well, no, you can't do Bike Terra. You can do erg mode, erg on the kicker, not the kicker, the kicker. No, the Zwift Ride.
Bike Terra does the clicks.
Bike Terra also does click. Oh, see, okay, there.
Yep,
Bike Terra is also. Then it's like, hey, do you want a full, all-encompassing exercise, or like the smart bike, which is like the whatever, the Wahoo. What's it called? Kicker bike. There you go.
I think it's a Kicker Shift now.
Yeah, the Kicker bike Shift, and then there's the
what's Pro the version or something.
Does anyone else have a full bike?
No.
Elite or Elite had the frame.
So
the
Stages
square
is
frame.
done. There's a Neo bike, isn't there?
Yeah, I think there's
there is a Neo bike. And Stages is back, right? Didn't somebody?
Yes,
Stages
Giant.
back.
Giant bottom.
Finalized
yeah.
Well, I think Stages owed Giant
so I
millions of dollars. So Giant just said, we'll take Stages.
He did the exercise bike thing, and I don't think he wants to go back into that world. I think he wants something that's like, I mean, I showed him Ruvi. I showed him Zwift first, and I was like, hey, this is me, and I followed somebody who was riding around. I'm like, these are people riding. He was like, okay, and then I showed him like Italy. Like he grew up, his dad was in the military, and he grew up in like he lived in Turkey for a while, and like So he knows different parts of Europe and different parts of the world. And he's like, oh, I like, because they go to Italy or they go travel and stuff. And he's like, oh, I like that. I want to ride like the Dolomites or ride the Italian roads. And he was like, oh, it's cool. I want to do that. That's more, engaging for him than the virtual world and social setting. So that's the thing, is like, well, now here we are. This is not the holiday shopping segment, but it's more of like, it becomes simplicity for certain riders, right? It's like, how do you get on? That's simple.
You know, my friend, he's a very big cyclist, but he just messaged me about buying the ride simply to have a new trainer, because he has a Kicker V4, so the Core 2, according to Casey, is significantly better and just about as good as the V6. So I told him that, and he messaged me, I don't know, he saw where the price dropped to $1,000. He said it's in the mail. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, I saw the price for just the base Kicker Core 2 was like $400. It was like $399 US, and then the other one was $999 US for the ride and you get the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and he only does Zwift. So like for him, he has 4 bikes, so bikes aren't the issue. It's just the absolute simplicity of it's there, it's smaller frame. Yeah. He gets a better trainer than what he currently has, and then, you know, obviously the virtual shifting and whatnot, because that's what he was mainly asking me. I said, yeah, that's great. I said, I use it probably about 50-50 between mechanical and virtual shifting. But yeah, that's the biggest thing they got going for them is simplicity. Yeah, Bev.
It's simple but complex, though. It's simple but complex, because if you don't do Zwift, you can't use it. So it's like you're dropping $1,000 for a frame that might not be something that you want to use, and then you can't shift in like another platform if you need to manually shift. That's where it's like.
But Peloton built $1 billion industry over locked hardware. You know what I mean? I think Zwift is trying to.
But have you done Peloton? You've done Peloton because you have your Peloton buddy.
Yeah.
Peloton is a totally different thing.
It is totally different.
You do not need Peloton, in my opinion, is like guided Disneyland tours, where you're like, hey, I'm paying a premium for you to take me around and give me an experience that I just kind of just do. Where Zwift is, and Ruby and all these other things is like, hey, I like buying my base Disneyland ticket and then going to wherever I want to go and do my thing, and I'll meet you for dinner at the New Orleans Square because I know Disneyland because I've been there before. That's the take. That's my take. Is like you're doing Peloton and you can do that, but that might be something he wants. But he's not looking for like, I need a social ride. He's like, I want to stay active, because he goes down to the city and to the gym. Like they live out in like 10 minutes from downtown area where they live, and he's just like, when it's snowing and I don't want to drive on the road, put chains on or whatever, I want to ride in the guest room. Well, boom, turn on the bike, ride the bike.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other topics? Brian, welcome on your whatever phone with no camera. Casey can hear him. Yes, can you hear him, Casey?
No.
Casey cannot hear him. Okay, Brian White has been speaking. He said, I agree with Brian Kellison all the way across the board.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Lee, can you hear Brian?
I can hear Brian. The show can hear Brian.
All right, well.
Just Casey can't.
Just Casey, just pretend it's like your daughter playing the flute and you can't hear it. Is your daughter play the flute? Who plays the flute?
My daughter.
Okay, yeah, your daughter's playing the flute. It's like, I can't really hear the other guys on the show. No, I'm just joking.
It's like you can hear the flute in the
ukulele.
background, but you can't quite make out the song. You're like, I know there's a flute, but I don't know what song she's playing.
I clicked a button. Maybe I can hear him now.
All right, we're gonna try to find. Hey, Brian, you got any topics?
No, I've been pretty much living under a rock. So
same here.
Well,
I've been okay.
Part of the problem with this apps is they're all capitalist. They're all trying to make money, and it's not like a normal race series where you're like, hey, want to go race on this city street? And all we have to do is get a city permit to race on this street. And that's a big issue is people want to paying a Zwift subscription. They're paying a Zwift subscription. They don't want to have to go to TPV and pay for. I think to actually progress forward.
Go back to the hurdles.
I think what has to happen almost is that the national, when you sign up for a race at like a national level, you get a 1 month subscription for that app. And almost the apps, as much as they need to make money, almost need to kind of buck up and do it for free.
I was just going to say that, like, we are talking, I glanced at the Discord, and I think it was Kathy said that she had 2 people in her TPV race for the qualifying nationals. So if TPV be like, okay, hey, we're going to have nationals here. If you're signing up to do this, you know, in Echelon Racing Rally, you pay your fee for Echelon, then you get, you know, the Echelon Racing and your national. So there's a 2 month period of free for that, because you're looking at like what it seems like maybe 20 users that are going to have a free subscription. And then there's a chance they may stick on it if they like it once they get there. But I agree with you. Like if I'm paying for Zwift, like it's like I pay for Zwift, Biketerra, and I use my Whoosh. My Whoosh is free. That's not an issue. But, you know, and I barely use Biketerra, but I'm supporting the platform because I like it. And
are you supporting the platform of Zwift?
I am. Well, yes, I am.
By paying.
But I guess that my usage of Zwift justifies the cost, but my usage of Biketerra doesn't. But I support the program for that.
You're also grandfathered in. Are you grandfathered in the $5
I
deal?
think I did sneak into that. Yes, there was a payment problem, but yes, but I was. Yes.
Yeah, see, I just expired my TPV 1 year, and I'm like, I don't think I want to splurge for it right now. I don't have a reason to. And the timing of the other series that came along kind of helped me make that decision, because I was kind of wanting to dabble in Echelon, but now I can do this My Whoosh Tuesday League if I want for free.
Yeah.
I've got this Prestige thing that if I'm going to spend money, I think I'd rather go eat out with Prestige, you know?
Is it because these platforms don't blow us away? They're not like, I have to pay for this. Like, I'm willing to pay for this because it's blowing me away, right? It's like, wow, this is awesome. I want to be a part of this, right? We say, like Brian was saying, I don't know if you heard Casey, but Brian was saying, I pay for Zwift, I pay for Biketerra, it's whatever. I like being grandfathered into the $5 deal Biketerra because I was really into it, right? Like I would pay for Root RGT to return. Here we go, 47 minutes in. I liked RGT and I would pay for it again. But the thing is, they gave it away for free and no one went on it. So it's not about the free thing. It's about these platforms need to blow us away because it's just the same stuff over and over and over again. And it's just, like Casey's doing them to get the events. But if it was like, wow, this is like that one that we wanted to have come to life, which was, what was it, Fondo CC, Fondo, which was like the Unreal 5 that you could run on every single thing, and it would create these worlds, and it looked like, you know, it looked like a Crisis. It was like a Crisis like demonstration. Even that could be not exciting because if there's nobody there, people are going to be like, oh, this is cool, and then they'd bounce.
So the other, I think I said this before.
Yeah, I mean for me, when I log in,
sorry, Brian, cut him off. Go, Casey.
Oh,
when you get a camera, you get to go first. But Casey, go.
With the Ruby thing, it's like I'll go to Ruby first and look for an event. And if an event doesn't fit my time frame, then I'll go to Zwift and I'll look for a larger event in Zwift. And like I wouldn't get to TPV until I was 3 layers deep, or maybe even 4 layers now, because I'm finding that my Whoosh at lunchtime has some categorized racing that's been decent. So yeah, it wasn't worth me. I don't know what it is, 130, 140 bucks to re-up for a year. I'll pay for Ruby. If my Ruby thing came up right now, I'm going to hit up Lee. We had our little package deal. Sorry, Brian and Brian.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
And I'm going to pay my 65 bucks or whatever it was for Ruby for the package deal. I'm going to pay for Zwift as much as I don't want to. I'm going to pay for Zwift. Most of my writing is still there, but yeah.
I pay for Zwift and I wrote it once last month.
I've been writing a lot.
And honestly, I don't have a Zwift. I don't have a Zwift subscription right now. And for nationals, I'm going to pay my 1 month so I can race nationals the month of February. And then once it's over, I will ride on Zwift again.
The thing is like, I like the social part of Zwift. That's the thing that sort of brings me back. Brian's coming back. He's getting a camera, I think. I think he's in his office or in his work, whatever. Lost my train of thought. I like the Biketerra because it's an upstart. right? My Whoosh is free, so you can do My Whoosh or not do My Whoosh. Ruby I liked when Casey and I were doing it, and Lee was on it. Lee was on it the first, and we started to really enjoy the physics and like that sort of like, hey, they're pushing new things and it's coming out with new things. That's something where I'm like, oh, I'm on board. And we got locked in on the rate for the year. Do we then reconsider this after the prices go up? That's the thing, is like these things need to, that's where like the diluting of the content needs to step up, because the wow factor is you're going to have one, you're going to walk into the, what is it? You're going to walk into the bakery, as I go back to like food analogies here. They have like one bagel or like one baguette. And it's just like, this is the baguette I eat because this is what they offer. And you're like, wow, this is a great baguette. I don't know any other bakeries in the world. This is the only baguette I get. This is the best baguette in the world. Right? So choice, I think, is good. Too many, yeah, if we had like 20 games, which we could probably scrounge around and find 20 games, that would be... Sorry, baby. The dog is coming to see me. But if we had like 20 options, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was on Zwift for 9 years. And I just was like, I like Ruby right now. I'm not going to say that I'm never going to go back to Zwift, but right now, Ruby is checking every box that I needed to check because I don't really care about people.
Yeah. So like when people, I have a year-long Ruby. I bought in the year-round thing, and I have the $5 Bike Terra, but I have the monthly Zwift. I didn't buy the year Zwift. I'm continually like questioning whether I want to do it or not, right? It's like, yeah, I keep doing it because of the show, we can talk about it. And if I do jump on it, yeah, I jump on it, it's fine. But our sweat equity is valuable. And that's where it's like, you pay for nationals to do this one race on this one platform. And that's the goal. I don't think that's the goal I don't think that should be the selling point for having it on our platform. It should be, you're doing it and we've chosen this platform because of this or this. And they don't really push that. I think they should be pushing like, hey, we're doing it on My Whoosh because of this. It's more of like, we're doing My Whoosh because the verifications cost too much. Or we're doing it on Zwift because everyone's on Zwift. So now tell everybody to do it and get on board and let's do this thing and get the community to push it, which I think is what the Tailwind Sports is trying to do, is to like, hey, we're trying. Is it Lead Out Sports? Tailwind. Did I say Tailwind again?
Yes.
Oh my God, I said it again. Tailwind Sports is like some other. Okay, I apologize. Lead Out Sports. I had both in my head, and I said the other one.
Esports.
Yeah, but I'm going with the promoter. The promoter of the Prestige is their mission statement, which we touched on last week, is sort of like innovative, or it's inspiring to a certain extent. It's like, hey, we're trying to make esports or e-cycling or this sport, whatever it is, better, and we're trying to push the envelope on what we're doing, right? I don't think that even does that even come from Zwift? Does it even come from Ruby? Does it even come from other things? I think Ruby is pretty much like, hey, we're not really like pushing to innovate the sport. We're just doing it to.
Well, I think
they are pushing it to innovate the sport.
Ruby's in its own category, and I think that's why it does well for what it is. Because, I mean, I couldn't see them holding a national race in Ruby. The racing is just a little weird because of the AR. But Ruby with its video. Well, because you're not
because you want it to be simulated. You want it to be simulating outside.
Your person's kind of riding off over to the side of you where you're not.
And they don't handle large packs well visually.
No. People phase in.
So the limitations
of
the thing, but it's not because of the content. It's more of the platform itself, like the logistics of the mechanics and everything.
Like yeah, Ruby would be really good for an individual time trial. Where people left at 30-second intervals.
Yeah, because of the physics and all that stuff. But if it was like, hey, we can actually have video, like we close the course of the actual national championships race, and we video it 4K, and then we have the whatever the Project Ruby, Project R, and they're doing like the new stuff where it's like all the physics are done right, but the video is clear, crystal clear. Would that be better, more intriguing than just the virtual version of it? Or do people like virtual version of it, of the course? I'm talking about the course now.
I would like the real course personally.
Real course, real GPX, and then the video of it, like 4K looking clean.
And I think coming into 2026, 4K and 60 FPS is on Ruvy's calendar of what they're working on.
I'm pretty indifferent on that one. If I'm in a good race, I don't care if it was Zwift graphics or Ruby graphics.
Right. So
now I get into more intriguing racing in Ruby because I'm on unknown, unfamiliar courses more often, right? And that's part of what I draw to Ruby for. But I got into some fantastic Zwift races by luck this week, which actually pointed me toward like Zwift doesn't have a racing platform problem. They've got a racing promotion problem. If you get the people to the Zwift race, we have really good races.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a Zwift calendar event problem because this random German league that was fantastic wasn't doing anything different than what Zwift could set up at 10 after the hour every hour. Zwift just can't figure out how to do good events.
But that's like, okay, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think we as in general, we are hoping Zwift will put on primetime television, you know, top tier, your Seinfeld, your Friends, whatever it was on, this is how old I am. Every single hour, every half an hour, we have top tier stuff. That's not what happens in 24 hours on television programming. It's like they have filler all day. Filler. That's what Zwift is doing. Hold on a second. The German community decided we're making our own race.
Yeah.
Which is what this...
it's not Zwift.
It's not... We're not... The thing is, we keep asking... And I'm saying, like, don't ask Zwift to do it. Zwift is like, have fun on our platform. Boom. What I think the community needs to do is build these little pockets of greatness and then come together as the German, you know, whatever the race that you did, the Lead out sports. My goodness. Sorry, my apologies to everyone affiliated with that thing. And go to Zwift and say, look, you can do the social stuff. We want a couple cool tools for us to do these things. He did her Brian now. Brian reconnected. That's what I think. That's where I think it is. That's what I think what I want.
I agree with that to a point, but and we talked about this a little bit in Discord this week. This is where I think they're missing the boat. Zwift and other, I see Ruby doing it, and it's actually helping them. And I think Zwift could take a page out of this book, because I agree with you, Brian Kellison. We can't have every hour fantastic, big, well-populated races, right? But what Zwift could do pretty easily if they wanted to push this, I think a lot of people don't race because they never get in a good race and have fun.
Correct.
So start driving your population to key. So you can have the every hour race, but have the noon race for me, which is have the European 6 p.m. race, have the American 6 p.m. race, and the Aussie 6 p.m. race all give away random prizes once a month. If you complete 2 of these races in these time frames every month, you're entered into a drawing for a free year of Zwift or a free Kicker Core or unlock the Epic Tron bike, right? You get a fully unlocked Tron bike, a random drawing for 10 people. Like, start driving people to that, because if they actually got those good races on the calendar 3 or 4 days a week, right? Every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, these 3 time slots, everybody shows up. They get to experience what I did this week by random, but we can start scheduling for it and drive people to it. I think that's where they're missing the boat.
Totally. I totally agree. Can you find the official name of that race? Go back to your old races. Let's promote this thing, because maybe it's something we want to push people to show up to.
Ruby does that really well. The amount of prizes that Ruby gives away.
Yeah, Ruby's very good at prizing.
It costs jack squat to give away
stuff,
some subscriptions.
Yeah, of course.
But I go through and personally, I look at the races that give away stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna go in this race.
Yeah.
You know.
So the thing is, like, the goal, what Zwift, what we want from Zwift is like a Genius bar, where it's like we have the Caseys hanging out that you can learn a little bit of racecraft because you're this genius of like racing to help improve my thing. Come out and do this race and do this thing, where it's like you want a little nurturing from the company that's sort of supplying the the platform, but you don't want them to be doing it all the time. Like, I don't think they're good at bringing it in-house. They're just not. But they're possibly good to help facilitate others or the community a little bit more to then go, hey, go check out like put it out on their social feed, like, hey, check this out, like check this out. And then the race nuts are going to be there, and they're going to do their like clinic or whatever it is. And then people can learn.
What was amazing about this race too is it was at noon on Tuesday. Like it was in primetime ZRL slot, and it still drew those numbers. Like all ZRL, the hardcores were over in ZRL, and we still drew these numbers. So I was like, I'm gonna look for it this week again. Tuesday. It's Tuesday at noon Central Time.
There's a lot of different coffee shops in town.
Yeah, it was great.
You don't always have to go to the main coffee shop. A lot of people like going to the main coffee shop. And then eventually the coffee shop gets too busy, and you find another little coffee shop just to hang out with your buddies. Right?
I know, talking about Casey and the Tuesday, like you said, it was big numbers. I watched that race. It was very good. My Whoosh has had a lot of the events that I've been doing with them have had a lot more participation. Like I did a couple with over 150 participants. And something that I think is very telling, numbers of people riding like actual humans. I haven't made a YouTube video in 9 months. And
wow,
stuff.
Casey, you're not missing much, buddy. If you can hear him, you can hear him now. Oh no, dude, you're glitching out, bro. Yeah. You're like it's Tron. You're like not the Matrix. What's the you're on the grid.
Yeah,
you're currently on the grid.
I think what Brian was getting.
I get
there's people getting more interested in my Whoosh, and I will say I've been picking it up a little bit more because there are more people signing up for races. And I'll be honest with you, the bots that I raced with on my Whoosh weren't terrible. They weren't as good as TPV bots, but they weren't terrible. Because I'm pretty sure I was in a race with a lot of bots. And they still pushed, they still chased, they still were aggressive. It wasn't just a pacer. And then this white guy showed up in one of my races and decided he wanted to go off the front with me and kick my butt. So.
Right on. Did he have a camera at that time?
Do you remember? Go to the line.
We've exceeded an hour. Are we derailing this show? Because Mr. Wi-Fi is
IT system.
You're glitching out, Brian.
Has intercepted his signal.
Okay. Last thing, Brian. Stop moving and just talk. Final thoughts. Go.
Okay. Basically, the final thoughts is, but Casey needs to go to the line on the My Whoosh races. This is just a little PSA for anyone doing My Whoosh. Every now and then you come across a race that the finish line is not advertised at what it is.
I will leave it at that. All right. You're glitching out. Stop talking. Stop talking.
Casey.
You left us with the finish. So
you
essentially,
got through 80% of what you wanted to say.
It was like 99.7%.
So I stopped when the event said 0 distance to go, but I didn't cross the finish line, and I was just lollygagging because I was 400 feet in front of Brian, and he comes blowing by me, and there's like a quarter of a mile to go, and I'm like, the countdown to the finish line went to 0. I wasn't paying attention for like an actual line or anything.
That sounds like a real race. Sometimes they just forget that unless it's like a start finish line, but I've been in races where like the finish line is different than the start.
Yeah, I never crossed a banner and I wasn't paying attention, and so that's all right.
Okay. Any more? I think we're good. That was an hour. Yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
To say congrats though to our first person that won our entry fee to the Prestige race number 2.
We'll figure out how to comp that or reimburse that. Okay. That it? I'm good. Last thing before we get out of here. You ready? Goodbye, everybody. It's my birthday. Bye.
No, birthday.
Happy birthday.